This is data sufficiency. Read the directions. Let's see how you approach these questions. Done? Just about what the GMAT is and what it entails. Sure, please ask me. No, the fixed time limits, absolutely fixed time. Yes, you cannot skip a question. It's everything given on the first page. Just read that up. You'll get that. Everything is given. I'll describe it anyway. Okay. Done the first 5? Done? Not done. Okay. What are your answers? Others who've done? B. B then? B, D. Okay. Next. C. Then? E. Any other answers here? B, D, D, C, A. Right? This. Okay. Fine. So let's see how to approach this. First of all, data sufficiency. This is, as I said, 2/3 of your quant section. I'm just trying to give you some sample idea today. It's not that we are totally solving everything today. Some idea as to how to approach this. We are asked, is the area of a right angle triangle more than 25? So I can answer this in yes or no. Now let's see, if one of the perpendicular sides is 6, let's say this side is 6. Can I comment on what this side should be or no? Not at all. Or is there any guarantee that this side has to be some other value? So I can make a right angle triangle with a side of 6 and 1 also. And some whatever this comes out to. This may not be an integer, we are not bothered. Or I can make a right angle triangle with this as 6 and this as 100 also. And some value, we really don't want to know. So in this case, if I say my area will be half of 6 into 1, which is 3. In this case, my area will be half of 6 into 100, which is 300. Your question is it surely more than 25? Can I say for sure or no? So the first statement is not sufficient. Don't think if it is 6 then it has to be 6, 8, 10. That will be wrong logic. With 6 you can make infinite triangles. Now let's see the second, the largest side is 10. If I look at that bit, if this value is 10, I am sure this has to be less than 10 and this has to be less than 10. Now the triangle's nature cannot be infinite. It cannot be totally elastic, I can stretch it anyway. Now according to you, when will this area be maximum? We'll learn this in the geometry part of it, but this area is maximum when the sides are equal or unequal. So this area is maximum when the sides are actually equal. If you don't know this right now, no problem at all. If this value is x, this value is x, then only the area comes out maximum. I can in fact make this triangle in two ways. Suppose this value is 10 and I can take this value as, let's say, 9.9. Some value whatever, and 10. Will it be a small area or large area if I take a triangle like very thin strip? Very little area, 0 almost. If I can take it the other way around also, that okay, this is 9.9 and this is 10, then also my area will be small. So overall my area will be large only when it is equal. If I use the Pythagoras theorem, I can use x square plus x square is equal to 10 square. All of us know this. So x square is 50. X will be 5 root 2, root of 50. So this value comes out 5 root 2. This value also comes out 5 root 2. What will be the maximum area of this triangle? Let's see. Half of 5 root 2 into 5 root 2. If I cancel root 2 and 2, this area is maximum of 25. What is your question? Is it more than 25? I can say a confirm answer, no. And what should be my answer now? Because which statement gave me the answer? Fun did not give me the answer. Second gave me the answer. So B is my answer finally. Now this question is a classic C trap problem. Tell me, if you combine the two statements, will they surely be enough or not enough? But do I need to combine the two statements? The point is, if one side is 6, the other is 10, what would have been the third side? 8, 6, 8, 10, you find out the area. Half 6 into 8 is 24. You would have said no, it is not more than 24. But I should not combine if any one statement alone can give me the answer. So that would have been totally wrong as a step. I should not combine at all unless each statement alone is not enough. If I look at the second problem, most of you answered this as D. C trap means combination trap. If I combine, I'll surely get the answer. C means which answer is C? Please check. C means what as an answer choice? Combination. So combination trap. That means if I combine, I'll surely get the answer. Do I need to combine? But I don't need to combine. That's the point here. Okay, let's see. Is Z an even number? This is the big difference that I'm trying to tell you. This question can be called a 200 level problem because it is so easy, or this can be called an 800 level problem because everyone goes wrong in it. Let's see why. I am not sure how to approach it. The GMAT does not designate levels as per its own wish. That is why it puts experimental questions and so on. Normally in math, we have been told that if 5 into something Z is even, obviously that means Z has to be even or odd. This is basic. Odd into something has to be even, so the value has to be even. Z has to. But the problem is we have missed certain thing here. Let's see. What is even, Z or 5Z? So if I say 5Z is equal to 2, suppose, what will be Z? It's a fraction, so not even an even number. But if I say 5Z is equal to 10, then Z would have been equal to 2, which is even. Now, suddenly I find something that I would not have ever cared about. I would not have cared about the fact that Z is an integer or not. But now I know 1 is not enough. Not sufficient. Similarly, I can write 3Z is equal to 2. So Z would have been equal to 2 by 3, which is a fraction. Fractions are neither integers, nor even, nor odd, nor prime, nor composite, nothing. We don't really use those terms. So 3Z is equal to 6, suppose. So I would have got Z is equal to 2, which is even. Again, this kind of dilemma you would never have seen in math. That's why it's not a maths problem, it's a DS problem. Quant PS and DS differ in a big way. Mathematically, what you thought was not wrong. Data sufficiency expects you to be very precise with things. Otherwise, a child can also solve this problem. Now, what do you say? First is not sufficient, second is also not sufficient. Now, if I combine the two, what is the next thing that I should try? Combine or no? Let's try to combine and say, okay, 5Z is even, 3Z is even. If you subtract these two or add these two, whatever, they will always be even. So let's subtract and say 5Z minus 3Z, 2Z is even minus even is. So Z will be even by, which is integer or fraction? Any even number by 2 is always. Now imagine by a combination of these two, I have got Z is integer. If Z is an integer, which integer will it be? Even or odd? Think about it. Which integer can it be? Even or odd? Because I have to satisfy 5 into something is even and 3 into something is even. This has to be satisfied. So if Z is an integer, which integer? Even or odd? 5 into odd will never give me an even number. 3 into odd will never give me an even number. So what do I get from here? If Z is an integer, Z must be. So by combining, I am absolutely sure that Z is even, and my answer for this is C. Something that most of us do not really pay attention to. And it's not that it's a tough problem or easy problem, but GMAT, out of 1000 people, only 2 or 3 will get it right. So it is a 99.5 level, 99.5 percentile level problem. Unless you are scoring very well, you will not get such a question. But this is the logic behind it. Any concerns here that you have not followed? Okay, let's see the third problem. What is the answer here? E, right? That's what you said. E. Okay, let's see. There is one group and there is another group. Let's say there are 100 people overall. We are considering 100 because you are asked percentage. Suppose D of them are directors. So 100 minus D of them will become managers. Suppose overall average is equal to A. So average of managers will be A minus 5,000 and average of directors will be A plus 15,000, right? Let's make a full equation. D is the number of directors into the average of directors is A plus 15,000 plus 100 minus D is the number of managers into the average of managers is A minus 5,000 is equal to the total number of people 100 into the total average as A. Are you okay with this equation or not? Or is there any doubt here? Number of directors into average of directors is the sum of directors. Number of managers into average of managers is the sum of managers is equal to number of people into overall average is the sum of salaries overall. If you solve this, will you get the value? How many unknowns do you see right now? So maybe even after reaching this stage, you will say 2 unknowns, let me leave it. That's the beauty of this problem. If you solve it, A will actually cancel out and you will get D equal to 25. Just solve it, please. Please solve it. I have not done anything completely strange here. Just try to see. A will cancel out and D will come out 25. Do you get this? A cancels or no? Just check. A will cancel out. Are you getting D as 25? You will get that. Now this would be a very surprising question for you again because after combining I am getting the answer. So my answer is not E, my answer is C. What is the percentage of directors then? Out of 100 if it is 25, so it should be 25% directors. Now this is a longer method to solve a question like this. There can be a 10 seconds approach to solving this problem. Let's see. Let's assume this is the fulcrum and this is weight 1 and this is weight 2. Can you imagine a situation like this in this problem itself? There are managers on the left side, there are directors on the left side and there will be an overall average. How much distance is this value? What is the difference of averages? If I say this is managers and this is directors, what is the difference here? 5,000 and here it is. In what ratio? Okay, suppose this is 15,000 away and this is 5,000 away. This weight has to be bigger to balance it or that weight has to be bigger? Left has to be bigger or right has to be bigger? Imagine a seesaw. Okay, imagine a seesaw with this distance is 1 and this distance is 3. Which side do you need higher weight to balance it? Left side or right side? Left side. So what would be the ratio of these weights? 3:1. So that means managers to directors will always be in the ratio 3:1. So 75% will always be managers and 25% will always be directors. This is a conceptual approach and this can be done in 10 seconds. There is nothing you need to do. Just see what is the difference. We'll learn this in the chapter on statistics later. We'll learn this in detail. This is a 10-second problem. The problem here is you may have taken longer and still gotten the wrong answer. E is not the answer here. It looks like the answer cannot come with either statement alone and even on combining, but that's not the case. Is this logically clear? Not clear. Any part here it's not clear? And please ask me if it is not clear. I will need a higher weight this side, so I will need more managers or more directors. Okay, tell me. Managers are this side. More managers or more directors? More managers to balance it. So in the ratio 3:1. Let's see question number 4. What is the sum of digits of the positive integer n where n is less than 99? You are given n is divisible by the square of y. It does not help me obviously because it is involving y. So not sufficient. Direct. Y to the power 4 is a 2-digit positive odd integer. What does it tell you? What is the value of y here? Y, let's start with 1. So 1 to the power 4 would have been 1. It is odd but it is not 2-digit. So not possible. Y equal to 2. Y 2 to the power 4 is 16. It is not odd, so it is also not fine. Y equal to 3. 3 to the power 4 is equal to 81. Odd also, 2-digit also. So this is one possibility. Y equal to 4. 4 to the power 4 is 256. It is into 3 digits. So the only way you can think about y is equal to 3. Y is a 3 or minus 3 also possible? Can it be minus 3 also? Yes or no? Minus 3 to the power 4 will still be what? 81. Now you are given, so first statement is not enough, second alone is not enough. Then you are told n is divisible by the square of y. What will be y square in any case? So you are given n is divisible by 9. Now how many numbers less than 99 are actually divisible by 9? Please tell me. 9, 18, 27, 36, 45, 54, 63, 72, 81 and 90. What is the sum of digits in all the cases? In all the cases the sum of digits is coming out as 9. Would it give me a different answer each time or same answer always? What would you have marked now after telling you the solution? What would you have marked? Is it giving me a unique answer or not a unique answer? Sum of digits is always the same as 9 or no in this case? So what do you think? Sufficient or not sufficient to answer? Okay, we have made one mistake. I have intentionally made that mistake just to make you realize. Why? Sorry. 1 to the power 4 is not a 2-digit number. 1 and minus 1 are not allowed. We have still done a mistake, and that is, yes please, y to the power 4 is 2-digit number. Can I write y to the power 4 as 11 also or not? Please tell me in the second statement. Or is it wrong to write it? Please tell me. Y to the power 4 is a 2-digit positive odd number. What is the mistake I have done? I have not done any mistake if I say y to the power 4 is 11. So intentionally I trapped you in the question and you did not really react also. Although in the previous question itself, what was the learning from the second question? Second question, what was your learning? Don't assume a number to be an integer, right? Are we doing the same thing here or not? So wrong approach totally. Y to the power 4 can be 11, y to the power 4 could be 25, y to the power 4 could be 49, y to the power 4 could be 81. Who stops me now? So if y to the power 4 is 25, what would have been y square? Yeah? I'm sorry, what are you saying? No, that's not the point here. Let's see. Okay, forget these. Can I say these three numbers qualify for sure? Now y square could be 5, take the square root, or y square could be 7, or y square could be 9. Now I can say n is divisible by 5 or 7 or 9. Can I take the value of n as 5 also, 10 also, 15 also? Is it giving me a unique sum of digits or different sum of digits? Think about it. What is asked? Or I can take 7 or 14 or 21, or I can take 9, 18, 27 and so on. Is the sum of digits always unique or different? Different. So finally this is not correct and my answer is E. I hope it's clear. Any doubt here? Please tell me. Now you would not believe that questions like this can go wrong sometimes. They're very easy problems. Normally we will not even believe that something like this can go wrong, but that's what. You just have to be very watchful. They are not tough questions, but they are definitely tricky. How about this one? What did you mark finally? What did you mark? Why C? Please tell me. D, right? Or C? D or E also sometimes. Let's see. You have given it's a positive number. It is not given an integer. It is only a number. X cube is a 2-digit positive number. So I can write x cube equal to 11 or 13 or 27 or whatever I want. So 1 is not sufficient. Okay. Second, x to the power 4 could have been written as 11 or 13 or 81. We are not sure. Not sufficient again. Are you okay with this logic now? This should be workable now. Now suppose I combine. You must combine. Don't directly say 1 is not enough, 2 is not enough, so it's E. What is the meaning of x to the power 4? X cube into. This is okay. Imagine x cube equal to 11. What would x have been? Cube root of 11. Right? So let's write what is x to the power 4 now. X to the power 4 would have been 11 into cube root of 11. But x to the power 4 is supposed to be integer or non-integer? But right now I will not get an integer. So when will I get an integer? When I take irrational number or integer? X cannot be taken as in, suppose I take x cube is equal to 29, just like that. So x is cube root of 29. So x to the power 4 will once again become 29 into cube root of 29. This is not an integer. To make it integer, even x will have to become integer or not? So on combination, I find out x is an integer. And if x is an integer, what should x be? X is equal to which number then? If x cube is a 2-digit positive odd integer, how many numbers are like that? Only 3. So x is equal to 3. And from second statement also I will get x is equal to 3. So overall, what should be my answer then? C or E? C. Finally, I am getting only one value of x. That's C. Now tell me, where is it that you may have made a mistake? You are still not clear, it seems. Some problem? Because x to the power 4 would be equal to what all numbers? X is an integer or not now? Only 81 from the second statement, and from the first statement only 27 will qualify. And given x is a positive number, so I don't even have to take negative roots or something. So only x is equal to 3 is the possible solution when I combine the two statements. This is exactly what the GMAT has become in the last 6 months to 1 year. Unfortunately, any material that you study is never going to cater to such trickiness of the content. Although these questions are not made by me, these are real GMAT problems, but whatever you study is basically 500, 550 level content, especially official materials, and other materials are not even relevant. You should not study anything that is non-official for GMAT. But I am not saying all the material that we are doing is from OGU. That's not the only official material. So even if I say yesterday somebody went in to take the test and got a score and got a particular question, we'll incorporate it. So basically that is how it's very different these days. It's not as easy as it would be otherwise. Let's see. Any doubt in the first 5 questions still? Please tell me that you have not been able to follow anything at all. Let's solve question number 6 to 10 also, just to understand how data sufficiency works on GMAT these days. Are you comfortable or you want to shift? You may shift. No, I mean just that, because maybe it may not be comfortable for you. So this, if it's a problem. Oh, okay. get this? Able to solve? What are your answers? Okay. Let's see. Huh? Yeah, that's fine. ठीक है. So you would have seen these questions by now. Do you need more time or done with this? Need more time? Done. Okay. Let's see whatever you've solved so far. Let's see how to approach these problems one by one. Once again, because it is data sufficiency, we'll have to consider each statement independently. If I look at only 15 cents and 29 cent stamps and 15 cents, how many did she buy? If I say she bought an equal number, so she could have bought 10, 10 also, 20, 20 also, 100, 100 also, we don't know. This doesn't give me how many means exact precise number. So the first statement is not sufficient at all. If I look at the second statement, she bought 440 worth of stamps. If I write an equation 15x plus 29y equal to 440, we are immediately tempted to use the first one which says x is equal to y, and then you feel that okay, obviously on combining who cannot get the answer. That's not the way DS should work. Okay, let's try to see whether I can get the answer from this statement alone. Why are you given these numbers 15, 29, 44? There is a reason, because the GMAT does not believe in calculations at all. So 15 plus 29 is 44. So because 15 plus 29 is 44, we know one thing is for sure, 10 and 10 is a sure short solution, right? Now it doesn't mean there is no other solution. I have to prove that thing, whether there is another solution possible or not. So this number ends in 0, ends in 0, this ends in 0 or 5, because 15 into something. So this also should end in 0 or 5. Is this clear? This is the only way it can work. Now 29 into what value can be equal to, can be ending in 0 or 5? 29 into 1 will never end in 0 or 5, 2 will not end, 3 will not end, 4 will not end, 5. So 29 into 5 is a possibility. If I use 29 into 5, which is equal to 145, this 145 will be subtracted from 440. Whatever remains is 295, and that will be divided by 15, which will give me integer or no integer. Just check. 300 by 15 is an integer, so 295 by 15 is not an integer. And we are talking about number of stamps, so number of stamps cannot be fractions. So 29 into 5 is not going to work. Now let's see, 29 into 10 has already worked. So the next number to try will be what? 29 into 15. It should end in 0 or 5. I can't have 11, 12, 13, 14. So 29 into 15. What is 30 into 15? 450. So 29 into 15 will be 435. 435 will be subtracted from 440, so it will be 5 divided by 15. Again not integer. So 29 into 15 is also a flop value. 29 into 20 will be beyond 440. So that is out. So how many integer solutions exist for the second equation? 1. So the only possible answer is 10 and 10. That's why my answer is B. Yeah, they may. 8 and 2. 29 into 2 will never give me any number ending in 0 or 5. 440 is surely 0 ending. 15 into something, can it end with 8 or 2? 15 into something will always end with 0, 5. So the third number should also end with 0, 5. What did we? B. Yeah, because I have not used the first statement here. Let's see question number 7. You are asked what is x, that means I want precise value or not? Precise value. Mod of x less than 2 can be satisfied by x is equal to minus 1 also, 0 also, 1 also, etc., etc. So many values. Actually infinite values will satisfy it. It's a range. Whenever there is a range, infinite values will satisfy it, decimals and so on. So the first statement alone is not enough. We'll look at second statement alone. Mod of x is always to be written as either x or simple. So let's write x is equal to 3x minus 2 or minus x is equal to 3x minus 2. X is equal to 3x minus 2 will give me 2x equal to 2, so x equal to 1. This will give me 4x is equal to 2, that is x is equal to 1 by 2. Normally this is how my mind will think now, and you are not wrong there. If x is equal to 1 and 1 by 2, there is no precise value. So I will try to combine it with the first statement and see. Mod of x is less than 2, but even 1 will satisfy and 1 by 2 will satisfy. In both the cases, mod of x will be equal to how much? 1 or 1 by 2. So it will be less than 2. So what will be a final analysis? X will be a unique value or not a unique value? So most often we mark answer as E, and you have not done a mistake. I mean, at your level you have not done a mistake. Let's just understand, is x equal to 1 actually a valid solution? Just substitute. Please substitute x equal to 1. Is it a valid solution? Yes or no? 1 is equal to 3 minus 2. So yes. Is x is equal to 1 by 2 a valid solution? Please substitute and check. 1 by 2 is equal to minus 1 by 2. So this is an invalid solution. So the only solution that is valid is x equal to 1. Can you tell me why is x equal to half not satisfying that equation? Some reason. When do you say mod of x is equal to x, and when do you say mod of x is equal to minus x? In which condition? When x is positive or 0. And mod of x equal to minus x precisely when x is negative. This is how. So when I consider mod of x is equal to minus x, what was my assumption? X is, and what did I get? X is half, which is what? Positive. So this betrays my assumption, that's why this is never the correct route. So the only correct solution to this one is x is equal to 1, and because it is coming from second statement, my final answer is B. No. Mod of x is equal to minus x, not x. X will remain x always. X does not change. Mod x changes. Mod of x is equal to minus x, not x is equal to minus. So my final answer is B. Don't be surprised, these are the traps that the GMAT uses very commonly, and you just need to be aware of these. If you see any material that was published 1 year ago, you will not find any such problem. And official questions in OG, official guides, are at least 8-year-old. You must be knowing that fact or not, I don't know, but that is what they have to retire. So and that the GMAT has a limit of about 8 years to retire a question. Then they go into the official guide. So all this will not at all be found in any case. Now let's see, I am given an is equal to an minus 1 plus k. What kind of a series this is? This is the previous term plus something is equal to the next term. Is this an arithmetic progression AP? add something to the previous term, then I get the next term. And this k is 0 or non-zero? That's also important. K is non-zero here. That means this AP is not a constant AP. This will be either increasing type of AP or decreasing type of AP. You are given how many terms are greater than 10. It's a tricky problem. Now in the options, one of the values is given as 10 directly. There is a very strong reason. If I say 8th term is equal to 10, how many terms are always more than the 8th term? How many terms are there total? So 7 terms will always be this side and 7 terms will be this side, right? Always. If it is an increasing series, 7 terms will be greater than 10 here and 7 terms will be. If it's a decreasing series, then 7 terms here will be greater than 10 and 7 terms here will be. In either case, how many terms are greater than 10? And which statement alone is enough? Second. So answer B. It might sound very strange to you the way we are solving things, but this is how the GMAT is basically in terms of data sufficiency. You will, on your test day, why people don't score, this could be one reason. They are not introduced to the traps at the highest level. And unfortunately, no material available anywhere caters to this. Anywhere does not mean anywhere. Anywhere in the world right now just does not cater to whatever is expected. So that's another major concern. Let's see question number 9. What is your answer here? B. B for Bombay. Let's see. I can take B common here. So I'll write B to the power A minus, this is my expression. Now if A is odd, what all can B be? Odd or even? I can have B odd, and along with A is odd, I can have B as, this is from the first statement. If A is odd and B is odd, let's see, what will be odd to the power anything always? Any odd numbers powers are always odd or even. 3 to the power 1 is odd, 3 to the power 2 is odd, 3 to the power 3 is odd. So this value will always be odd. And because A is odd, what will be this value? Odd or even? A to the power B will become what? Odd to the power something. Odd to the power something is always. What is odd minus odd always? Odd minus odd is even. Always even. Right? So finally this answer will be even from the first statement. So 1 is sufficient actually. This expression will never be odd. Never be odd. Just check. If A is odd, B is odd, then this will be what? Odd minus odd, which is even. And now if A is odd and B is even, what will happen? If B is even, then this will become even into anything. Right or not? Even into anything is what always? Even. So if B is even, then again the expression is even. Your question is it odd? I can say for sure no or yes. From the first statement I can very clearly say no, so it is sufficient. From the second statement, if B is even, is it sufficient anyway or not? B is even, so this is even. Even into anything is even. So again sufficient. My answer is D. If you are confused about something, please tell me, I will explain it again, please. Don't be worried about your answers, don't be worried about the accuracy, because these questions, you may not have ever been exposed to data sufficiency in this fashion, but this is very commonplace. It's not that these are tough questions I am trying to expose you to. Real GMAT, commonplace problems, but they are found only on real GMAT these days. They are not found in the contents. Any doubt here? That's not clear here. Let's see, question number 10. If x is a positive integer, is x factorial plus x plus 1 a prime number? you are given less than 10 and even. What all numbers will you start with? Please tell me. You will start checking. So 1 is not sufficient, because at 1 I get prime, at 2 I get prime, at 3 I get not prime. So it is not a confirmed answer. If I look at x is even, I will start with x is equal to 2. So 2 plus 2 plus 1. X is equal to 4. 4 factorial is 24 plus 4 plus 1. 29, which is prime, and so on. Which statement do you think will be enough? How do you decide that? Please tell me. How do we decide that? I should take more values. So x equal to 6. 6 factorial is 727. Now suppose you don't know, but suppose this is also prime. Then what? Will you mark this enough or not enough then? Let's see. What will be 8 factorial? Plus 8 plus 1 is 8 factorial plus 9. 8 factorial plus 9 will be something like 3x plus 3y. Can I say this? 8 factorial, will it contain the number 3 or not? 8 factorial is what? 1 into 2 into 3 into 4 into 5. So 3 into something. And 9 is obviously 3 into something. Can I take 3 common here? So can I say this will be a multiple of 3 always? Multiple of 3 will be prime or not prime? Never prime. Only 3 is prime. So if I take 2, I get prime, but if I take 8, I get not prime. So my answer is, whatever you do, you don't get it. So finally. If you are not following something, please tell me, I will explain it again. Don't be totally surprised by the answers. It's simple, it's okay. I think next time you will know what the traps are. But data sufficiency is full of traps these days. Full of traps. Okay, can I say, looking at first and second statements combined, what are my two boundary values? Combine the first statement and second statement. What are my boundary values? 2 and 8. I should not check all the values actually. I should just check 2 and 8. That's it. I will get contradiction. That's enough. If at 2 it is prime and at 8 it is not prime, can I say everything is done then? It's E straight away. I have tried whatever I could have tried, but I am still not getting it. So that's how I should go about it clearly. So 9th was D and 10th will be which one? E. What did you learn by solving these 10 problems? Where do you think one can falter possibly? Is it tough or is it tricky? It's not tough. Right? At least that feeling you have that it is not so difficult, that I am staring at the problem but I don't know what to do. All of us are into the problem. We are solving it, getting the answer. So just one thing, it is just a little tricky and that can be addressed very easily. Usually in 3 classes of math, people are able to predict the traps. Before the question you know, okay, this is how he is trying to trap me. He'll possibly laughing in your mind possibly at that time that, okay, this is the trap maybe. So that's one thing. We'll also see some more types of problems, not just data sufficiency or math. Now let's see in verbal, if you really want to succeed, if you really want to score above 700, you really want to cross the 700 barrier first. 700 is not a good score, but at least if you want to cross this barrier, then your quant may be a bit weak. Even then it is possible. Your SC may be weak, maybe CR may be weak, but your RC cannot be weak. each question on reading comprehension is sometimes 3 times as important as an SC problem. So if sentence correction, one question has 1 mark, CR may have 1 mark to 1.5 marks, let's say. RC will surely have 3 or more than 3 marks for one question. I have never seen anyone poor at reading comprehension coming back with a score of 700 plus normally. Whenever we see people faltering at 680, 690, 700, 710, they'll come back and say something or the other was a problem with RC. Whether you are from math background or non-math background, even if you are from literature background, believe me, on the test day, reading comprehension is the biggest culprit. A lot of people feel automatically or taking the second time that had I controlled my RC somehow, my GMAT would have been perfect. Do we share some such feeling? Anyone who has experienced this or heard this? Problem somewhere in RC? Okay. Major concern for all Indians, I guess, RC is one of the major concerns. If it were not for reading comprehension and people normally take the CAT in their final year of graduation or later, 95% of people who fail at CAT, ask them what was their biggest problem. They will tell RC was one of the major problems. But for reading comprehension, a lot of people would have been in IIMs already, through CAT. So RC is a major concern in any exam you take. Nothing wrong with GMAT also. GMAT will surely challenge you to the hilt in RC, totally. There is a way to approach RC. You can get to almost 100% accuracy with this in this section. This is possible. But you have to be very, very serious about this part. Even if you say my sentence correction is a little iffy, weak, you can still score well. Reading comprehension will not really excuse you. So what we'll do in today's session, I can't tell you all the techniques, but we'll at least solve one passage, see how it has to be approached, and accordingly we'll see some technique in RC called Octave. Please come to page 5. Question number 1 to 3 on this passage. Please solve this, then we'll have a discussion. Answers. Okay. You sure? No, that's fine. Yeah, one second.
Not sure about this one.
Okay. Okay. Not sure of the first one. Okay. Okay. Done some? DD. Okay, still working on it. आवाज कम कर. पूरा आवाज आ रहा है मेरे को. धीरे बोलेगा. Okay, let's see how to approach this passage. Now, before we get into how really to get the answers, let's see the approach required in general for reading comprehension. First of all, I think one acronym approach that I am giving you that will encompass everything in reading comprehension, provided you master it properly. It's summarized as Octave, which has nothing to do with the word octave. It is just an acronym, and which stands for opinion. So we should look for personal opinion of the author first of all. We should always look for contrast words. We should think about the tone of the passage in terms of whether it's positive or negative or neutral. I should always avoid extremes, strong words, and superlatives in the answer choices. I should verify each word before marking an answer. And I should always eliminate, not select. This is exactly what will be a complete solution to all your RC problems, provided you can master this technique over about 50 passages. If you can apply 50 passages this particular technique, you are guaranteed to get almost, or sometimes in fact perfect 100%, not even almost. So opinion of the author, always look for the personal opinion of the author or the main point of the author or the crux, whatever. Always look for contrast words such as but, yet, although, however, despite, etc., etc., etc. So these are contrast words. Tone of the passage, try to say whether it's positive or negative or neutral. Always avoid extremes, strong words and superlatives in your answer choices unless they are given verbatim. If they are given verbatim, then there is nothing I can do. I will have to select that answer. But otherwise, I should be very clear. I cannot select an answer with this unless given verbatim, word for word. If you say word for word match in the passage, then it's a different matter. The most powerful idea in reading comprehension is this, called verify each word before you mark an answer. If you can master word justification or word verification as we call it, guaranteed nothing can go wrong. And finally, you should try to eliminate and not select an answer. What it means is, suppose I look at choices and I say option A and B and I think I like option B enough, so I will not even read option C, D and E. Have you selected B or have you eliminated others now? Selected B. This may be wrong approach totally. Eliminate, not select. As for this, let's try to solve this passage, and anything that comes to your mind will be very easy. What do you think in this passage? First thing, does the author have a personal opinion or it is all factual? Or is it all fact? Any opinion of the author in this passage? Author's personal opinion. Yes, no, what do you say? Anywhere, if you feel, tell me please, if you feel the author has any personal opinion in the passage anywhere, you feel it's all factual? Where is the, if it's a bias, then it's an opinion. Tell me the bias. No, that doesn't mean bias. If something is good, I'm just saying it is good. I'm not biased. If something is actually good and I'm just saying it's good, am I biased? If something is actually very good, if I say that Sachin has scored the maximum centuries in test and one day cricket, am I biased or am I stating a fact now? Even a critic of Sachin can say the same thing. Right? This is fact. This is totally a fact. Yeah, that's right. You are saying which part has the personal opinion of the author? Please tell me which line. That is considered the best. This line? Okay. You are saying this line considered the best, but the problem is whose opinion is this? The author's or somebody else's? If I say it's not personal opinion of the author, it is everybody else's opinion. So if I state somebody else's opinion, for me it is a fact or opinion. If I say my friend thinks Manmohan Singh is a weak prime minister, now is this my opinion? Let's say somebody else says, so Manmohan Singh is considered the weak prime minister by everyone. Let's once again, it's not my opinion. If I say, so this is not the opinion of the author. So I can say very clearly in this passage there is no opinion at all of the author. It looks like it, but there is no opinion. If there is no opinion, all fact, what should be the tone? Positive, negative, neutral? If there is never an opinion, then the tone cannot be positive or negative. Let's eliminate all positive tones. This is positive, so this can't be my answer. This is also positive, cannot be my answer. This is also positive, this cannot be my answer. Okay. All the three positive tone answers are wrong then. I am supposed to choose an answer between C and D now. Let's see D. Intellectual exploration. When do you explore something now? Tell me. When you know about it or you don't know about it? Do you think the author wants to know what LCD is or author already knows about it? He is an expert in LCD technologies description. So exploration is a word unjustified. I cannot verify this word from the passage. Exploration is when you know or when you don't know. I want to explore this gadget. I don't know about it. I want to go and explore that country. I don't know about that country. Explore is when you don't know. So this word is not verified. What did I say? Select or eliminate? So we have eliminated 4 answers. Very happily mark C as your answer. That's it. It looks very weird though. C may not look to be a good answer because disinterested explanation looks so negative. Is this negative or neutral? So let's try to understand what is the meaning of disinterested. What do you mean by disinterested? Unbiased explanation. Yeah, that's perfect. The author does not have any bias at all. Bias means when something is good you are calling it bad, and when something is bad you are calling it good. That is bias. All scientific passages are written with bias or unbiased? No bias usually. Scientific passage. No bias. Objective, unbiased explanation. Scientific. So you can call disinterested means objective, scientific, unbiased explanation. What is the difference between uninterested and disinterested? Yeah. Disinterested is you are interested but you don't have an opinion. But uninterested means I am not interested. So an umpire in a match is not supposed to be uninterested in the match. He can't sleep while the match is on. Uninterested is wrong. But disinterested, yes, he has to be disinterested, not taking sides. So option C is the perfect answer here. This approach will not let you down in any case. Whatever I am telling you about Octave, this will be perfect. Let's see. I told you, avoid superlatives. Did I say that? Avoid extreme answers. How many options contain superlative in this, please tell? Only one option, latest and most advanced. This answer will be correct only if it is given in the passage. Tell me, are these two words anywhere given in the passage, latest or most advanced? Anywhere mentioned? These words must be directly mentioned, then only these can be correct. So this answer is not given in the passage at all. So this should be correct. Anyway, avoid superlatives is a very, very powerful technique. Very powerful. Latest and most advanced both are superlatives. If you say others are given or not, we can eliminate the others also. I'll just come to this. Okay, how about they consume less power given? Always. Absolutely. No, but it is given. Okay, first thing, is it mentioned in the passage that they are latest or they are the most advanced? Is it mentioned? So anyway, it's wrong. Simple. It is wrong. We'll come back. Yes, it will always work in all 100% cases. That's how RCs are. You can try it on any of the official guide passages and come back to me, say that okay, but in this answer superlative is correct. It can be correct only if it is directly mentioned, otherwise never. Okay, more pixels per square inch given. Able to display continuous video graphics, it is written no flicker and no screen burn in. If there is no flicker, no burn in, that means it is continuous or interrupted? Continuous. So even this is understandable given. Are they widely adopted or not? Is it given? Dominant technology currently used in most display products. Then they are used for high definition TV, movie special effects, this video games. So are they widely adopted? They reflect a widely adopted standard. This is given in an indirect way. So given indirectly. Avoid superlatives would have given you an answer in 20 seconds. 20 seconds you would have got this answer. Whenever you see best, most, latest, any of these things, you are very sure such answers are correct only if they are given. Any doubt in this problem? Okay. Let's see. Question number 3. What did you pick here? So whenever you are given something like this, you should go back to the passage. Process through which LCD monitors displays different colors is most closely analogous to. So process, now it is given which process, so it is called process of subtraction, and this is the characteristic of it, blocking out particular color wavelengths from the spectrum of white light until only the desired color remains. Now imagine, is it blocking out all or blocking out some then? Okay, something is desired also, so not everything is blocked. Option B says they separate all. All is a strong word or a superlative? Do they separate all or do they separate some? So B is definitely not correct. Always be on the watch out for words like these. They are never going to be correct. Now think about, what does an hourglass actually do? An hourglass, will it ever block anything or it will just slow down something? You keep 1 kg sand, all 1 kg will finally come out. So hourglass never blocks anything. So hourglass will be wrong here because it does not block anything. It only slows down. Option C says totally soundproofed. Totally soundproof means nothing can come in, nothing can go out. Not right possible. Option E says air vent that emits warmer air outside of a building while an air conditioning system cools the interior of the building. Do you think it is related to this process at all? Subtraction? Completely unrelated. So I should mark D by elimination. How this works, I will explain it still. It should be still understood how this is working out clearly. Now imagine it this way. Let's see. Suppose I have this page, construction paper, and this is opaque, and I am throwing light on it from the top. I am throwing light. Will it show anything on the bottom or no? This is a paper, opaque, I throw light, nothing will be seen. Now I cut a circle in it and I cut a square in it, and now I throw light from the top. What will be seen? Only a circle and a square. So until the desired color remains, this is the desired shape. This makes pretty good sense. If I cut whatever I want, in that case I will get only that much. So difficult one, but by approach of elimination and Octave, as I said, it is very easy to get to this answer. Any doubt regarding any of these questions then? Please tell me. Let's solve one more and possibly 2 more questions in RC. Page 6 only question number 1 and page number 7 question number 1 again. Please don't solve the remaining questions. I am just trying to explain some specific point here. So let's see. So I wanted to give you enough time. What are your answers? Please tell me. Page 6. E. Okay. And page 7. Okay. We'll see how to approach these passages, and very, very crucial, because I told you, you will not be able to master this technique in the second passage itself, and that is evident here. But if you do 50 passages by this, you cannot go wrong. That's what I'm saying. So let's see, in this particular passage, what do you think? Are there any opinions anywhere? No. No opinion, or there is opinion? Where is the opinion exactly? No, unhappily is not an opinion. Where is the opinion? We would need to comprehend thoroughly. This part is not a fact. Can I say it's a suggestion? Can I say this? A suggestion is always an. We would need to comprehend cannot be called a fact. It is definitely an opinion. Now, when it is an opinion, how many options? Give me an opinion first of all. For example, the word position. Position means fact or opinion? If I ask you, what is your position on this issue? You will always say, I agree, I disagree, I partly agree, partly disagree. So, position is always an opinion. So, let's keep this. A theory. Do you think a theory is an opinion ever? No. A diagnostic test is never an opinion, no need to even read it further. A practical method is never an opinion. Now, overview. What do you mean by the word overview? Summary or conclusion? Overview is summary, or overview is opinion? If your boss says in the morning, this is a 300-page report, give me a 4-slide PowerPoint by evening of this sum. Will you use your knowledge, your opinion also, or you will just use the report and compress it and give it? Overview means summary, and summary means no opinion at all. By Octave, my answer is A, which is so easy because position is the only word that describes an opinion. You might feel, but this is so strange, how can I get this answer? This is it. There is nothing wrong with option A, there is absolutely nothing wrong. Option E is close, but it is not fitting into the Octave mode. And this method, believe me, one more thing that I want to tell you, this is something that the GMAT authors are told. While a passage is given to a GMAT author, GMAT is the body that conducts the GMAT. People who write your passages, people who make questions are given these instructions. Each passage must pass through opinion, contrast, tone, and avoiding superlatives, etc., etc., all of that, each passage. Now the second passage, let's see. Do you agree there is opinion or there is no opinion in this long passage on page number 7? Opinion or no opinion? So we are very sure there is no opinion. If there is no opinion, the word critique always means opinion or no opinion? What do you mean by critiquing something? You say the pluses, you say the minuses, and finally you give an opinion. Okay. Critique is always an opinion. Positives, negatives, and your opinion. Not the right answer, because we have discovered there is no opinion. A report is always no opinion or opinion? I always report things as it is, or I add my sentiment to it. So no opinion. So let's keep this. Assessment, is this the word that we are using? Yeah. Assessment means I will weigh the pluses, I will weigh the minuses, and I will give my opinions. Why? Let's see. Someone says, okay, please assess this candidate in the interview. What will you say? Finally, will you say good, bad, selected, rejected, or no? Or you will just say, so you will say good qualities, bad qualities, and finally, according to me, good, fine, selected, rejected. Assessment and critique are basically same things. So with opinion. Funnily enough, you will realize how many programs are being discussed in this passage. How many women's studies programs in this passage? How many programs are there? One. This word is programs, this word is programs. Impossible that these two answers are right. Word justification, I told you verify each word. If you verify each word, the word programs are not justifiable in this passage, and that's why the remaining answer B is my best answer. Next session that I usually have in RC whenever I have it is like we have all the passages from OG and verbal review, that is the thing, and we have a complete discussion of 37 passages in one session. You would obviously come prepared with it, and you'll realize that each passage in OG can be done by this, each passage in verbal review, each passage in real GMAT. This approach fits perfectly well, and people really struggle with primary purpose, main idea and tone much more. If I say according to the passage what is true, do you struggle there more or in such questions? Gist type of problems. Where do you think people would be confusion would be more on these types of questions? Because I can't go to a location and say, okay, this is the word I pick up and this is my answer. Not possible. This really helps you. Let's see what are the changes on critical reasoning as well. So look at page number 8, question number 1, 2, 3. Randomly I am taking 3 questions to understand the approach, that's it, and then we'll take sentence correction, how to approach that also. Let's see. Page 8. Yes. Yes. Just check. Could you get these answers? Just check if you've solved all three. Okay. Let's understand how to approach these questions. Do not worry too much about critical reasoning today, because this is not, I just wanted to give you an idea about how this works, because I can't give you a complete idea of CR in such a short time. There are many more types of questions that are asked, but still let's see. Basically, you are asked what could be the best supported statement as per this. So there are 2-3 things that are required here. Let's see. The first thing is the top-notch graduate will all be more than 120 in IQ. If you are more than 150 and you apply, you surely get through. Okay. This is a sure admit. These are the 2 things that we need to understand. Now let's see. Every graduate of top notch with an IQ of 150. What is the condition? Of or above? And A does not talk about applying. Both are a problem. So option A not correct. Now, if a person is a high school graduate and has an IQ of less than 100, he or she could not have been a student at top notch. This is a very tempting answer. Very, very tempting. Did you mark anyone who felt this was a possible answer? Why is this not a right answer? Tell me, why is this a wrong answer? Looks okay. Is it top-notch student or top-notch graduate? No, in this passage what is given? Top-notch graduate. And B says he or she could not have been a student. There is a big word mismatch here. Is this clear why? A person could have been a student at top-notch and left that school and graduated from somewhere else. Then his IQ can be lower than 120 also. So that is where the problem is. This word is a big problem, not correct. Option C is at least one graduate who has applied to at least one Ivy League university has been accepted to. What is the guarantee of admit? No. What is the guarantee of admit? More than 150. Whereas guarantee from top notch is only what? So it is possible in theory that all top notch people are between 120 to 150. Then option C becomes totally wrong. Suppose everyone from top notch is between 120 and 150, then option C does not hold. So C is wrong. Option D says if a high school graduate has an IQ of 150, first of all, of 150 is wrong. We need above 150. And attending. Attending is a big difference from selection. So the guarantee is only of admission, not of attending. I may have an admit to 5 schools, but I will not attend maybe one. I will attend maybe one or not even one. So this is wrong. By elimination, this works perfectly. And it is so correct. If a person has an IQ of 130 and is attending an Ivy League school, it is possible means maybe, may not be. From top notch. If there is a person whose IQ is 130, he may be from top notch, may not be from top notch, and it is not that he can't go, maybe. So option E is perfectly correct as per what the passage is saying. But it is a tough question to get right, no doubt about this. Let's see, question number 2. It says the claim of utility companies assumes which of the following. So these two words are important. Which claim am I talking about? So where is this written? Companies claim that. What is written? Companies claim that provide stable energy supplies at low cost. The word stable is extremely important because that is the first claim. Now, which energy source is used here? Solar or? Suppose I am an electricity provider and I am relying totally on solar and wind. And I have promised my customers that you will get totally uninterrupted electricity. What should I rely upon now? Suppose tomorrow there is no sunlight and no wind. So I will have no electricity to generate. If I have told or promised you will get stable supply, the most important condition is that the weather patterns are consistent and predictable. You can plan. Imagine I negate this thing, what will happen? This is how assumption questions are solved. We will talk about it later, called assumption negation technique. Weather patterns are inconsistent and unpredictable. What will happen if they are inconsistent and unpredictable? Will I be able to promise stable or no? So clearly this is my assumption. Now you might actually ask me, why did I not consider the other thing? Price fluctuation, because whatever is asked, that is what I answer. I am asked the claim of utility companies, then I should go to claim that, whatever the claim is. Any other answer does not relate to this logic. Let's see one more problem. What are these people trying to do? They are trying to bring in a law that will say that okay, we will not sell video games to minors, to people who are less than 18 years suppose. But suppose their parents are happily ready to buy video games for those minors. Will this painful condition reduce or not reduce them? Not reduce, right? So that is the basic assumption, that parents will not start buying on behalf of children. Now this answer is impossible to imagine unless you, if I had given you only this much and not the options, would you have ever come up with this answer? Please tell me. But this is making sense or not? Suppose I negate this. Most parents would not refuse to buy video games for their adolescent children. That means parents will continue to give them video games. If parents continue to give them video games, the painful risk condition will never go. So it's a very difficult question in the first place when you are solving. If you have seen this question, you know the logic once and for all. It can be solved only by one thing, that is called negation technique in CR. We will learn this in detail later, but this is the basic idea about it. Any other answer you feel in the previous 3 problems? Any other answer choice? D. Playing video games is the only way an adolescent can develop? No. D is wrong as per the passage itself. Is it wrong or as right as per passage? What is written? No, first thing. Is this right as per the passage or wrong as per the passage? Is it written that people only with video games can get this disease, or there are other ways also? 3 times as likely. That means even others can get this disease. Any answer that violates a fact in CR is always wrong. Okay. Any answer choice that violates a fact is always wrong in CR. Option D is against the fact of the argument. Is this clear logically? Any other question in which you feel some other answer choice? I would have marked this or something. Anything else? So there is a very different approach required for critical reasoning, focusing on the conclusion, negating certain options, etc. We'll learn this later. Okay. Moving on. Let's see. So we have one more area in GMAT, that is sentence correction. I would ask you to solve, let's say, question number 1 to 7 on page number 9, and then we'll have a discussion. Let's see. I'm just trying to give you an overview of what the GMAT is these days. Okay, this is the kind of test you are likely to get. 2, 3 are wrong and the remaining are right. Done? Sure. One correct out of 7. Strange. This is a little strange. How is it? Not sure. Let me just see. How's it been? How was it? 4 right. Okay. 3 right. No problem. That's okay. So let's see how to approach these sentences and what exactly is the change in sentence correction. According to me, this is the maximum change area. Whatever the exam has seen, this particular thing has undergone the maximum change. What is the change basically? Sentence correction earlier used to be about grammar and rules and idiom and other things. This was earlier. Today it is all about this, plus the overriding thing is meaning clarity. The most important thing is meaning clarity today. This was not the case earlier. So sentence correction, major change in the entire section. From that perspective, we'll try to just see how to approach it today. I am not doing it in detail as we very clearly understand, but still, let's see how to approach everything in SC right now. When you see before learning how to make a synthetic growth hormone, scientists had to remove it painstakingly in small amounts from the pituitary glands of human cadavers. Here the meaning is important. If you want to understand the meaning, the condition is you have to read full sentence or half sentence. Otherwise you can't understand the meaning of any sentence. So read the full sentence. Usually our tendency is to read this much, read the underlined portion, but very rarely people have a tendency to read this. They don't read normally. Am I right here? How many of you actually read the last portion and that was important according to you? Okay, some of you did, but let's see whether normally what is our tendency? Okay, think about it. How much will we read normally? Only till the underline or beyond that also? Till the underline. That's where the fundamental mistake happens. Let's see. Human dead bodies, human cadavers, you are taking something out of human dead bodies. Can it be called a synthetic item directly, or it's impossible to take out something synthetic from a Human dead body will be called a natural or synthetic source? Human cadaver will be a natural organic source, right? From that, if I take out something, it cannot be directly synthetic. I can take it out and later in the lab I can synthesize it, mix some chemicals, make it a little different. So the word synthetic is not possible in option A, B and C because of meaning clarity. What does it mean? What is the meaning of it here? They had to remove it painstakingly. What is it going back to? Which value? Which word? Sorry. It is going back to synthetic growth hormone. It means option A, B and C are telling me we are taking out synthetic growth hormones out of a natural source, human dead body. Impossible. It's an impossible meaning. So between D and E, now if I say before learning, who is learning according to you? Somebody. We are not sure, scientists or somebody, but somebody is learning. That somebody has to come after the comma in option E. Okay. If I say before announcing the new quarter results, what would you say before announcing? A new plan was discovered or the manager discovered a new plan? What will be better? Before announcing. Who is announcing? Somebody, the manager. You can't say before announcing a new plan. It is more like very easy sentence, barking and yelling. That sentence I always write because it gives you the meaning instantly. He was chased by a dog. This completely changes the meaning. I don't want to say this. So the same logic, before learning it should be somebody who is learning. Option E is wrong. By elimination my answer is D, and that is perfect. I'll give you a technique that can solve this question extremely fast. If you have a verb form of a word, adjective form of the same word and noun form of the same word, then always verb is preferred to adjective and adjective is preferred to noun. For the same word. Now synthetic is adjective or noun or verb? What is synthetic? Synthetic, adjective, and synthesize, verb. How many options use the word synthesize? Please tell me. 2, right? So I would have been able to eliminate ABC by verb preferred to adjective, adjective preferred to noun rule also. It's a standard rule that will be followed. Okay. Let's see question number 2. Extremely important to understand this one. Many environmentalists and some economists say that free trade encourages industry to relocate to countries with ineffective or poorly enforced anti-pollution laws, mostly in the developing world, and that in order to maintain competitiveness, rich nations have joined this downward slide toward more lax attitudes about pollution. Without understanding this, if you solve, you will really go wrong. Any company or any country always wants to maintain competitiveness or competition. If I say that Pepsi is a company, does it want to maintain competition with Coke or kill competition? Nobody in the world wants to maintain competition. Everybody wants to kill competition and wants to maintain what? Competitiveness. Option D and E are saying they want to maintain competition. Not possible. Illogical meaning. Okay. First thing. Next, whatever is given here, is it a recent or is it an eternal phenomenon? Please tell me. Eternal means it has been happening for a very long time already. Please tell me. Okay, imagine a situation that in the US, a company like Nike, which pollutes the environment a lot because shoes always pollute the environment, leather and everything, and the laws are very strict there. You have to clean up the environment. If you have polluted it, you have to clean up, and the costs are very high. So Nike someday decides, okay, let's go to China. Okay, apart from labor being cheap and apart from factories being very well managed, one more reason is it will not have to clean up the environment. China is part of developing world and right now the laws are not strict. So you may pollute the environment as much as you want. This is what the meaning of this sentence is. Even if you have not understood, now you read it, you will realize what I am saying. So many environmental economists say that free trade encourages industry to relocate to countries with ineffective or poorly enforced anti-pollution laws, mostly in the developing world, and that in order to maintain competitiveness, rich nations have joined this. Is this logically clear now? Do you think this is eternal? That means even for thousands of years this is happening, or it's a recent thing? So if I say they join is eternal or join is recent? Rich nations join poor nations. It gives me an idea of eternal. Okay, if I say he goes to the gym, does it give me an idea that recent, or he goes to the gym as a habit eternally? So join will mean eternal, whereas this is recent. So I must use have joined. This thing cannot be called an eternal thing. That's why we say the sun rises in the east. Do we say the sun has risen in the east today? We never say that. Because that's an eternal thing that goes on forever. That's it. Here we have to say something of this kind, recent. Sentence correction will need this precision from you. If you say only by knowing modifier and subject verb and parallelism I'll get it, no. Yeah. Yeah, you can do it the way you want to. Right. Encourages is eternal. No. I should look at meaning. I can't say parallelism without seeing the meaning. Encourages is eternal or not? Whenever there is free trade, what will happen because of free trade means what? I can go anywhere and I can start shops anywhere. That's free trade.
So maybe we're just talking about the phenomena which occurs that free trade encourages.
That's what I'm asking. Please understand the commonsensical meaning of the sentence. Do you think this is an eternal thing? Rich nations join means always. It has always happened, it will always happen. Join means always, simple, forever. Present indefinite tense tells me a habit or a continuation forever. This will not be correct. You cannot match tenses without, okay, you are saying that encourages, so join will be better. Logically, if you say encourages is correct. If I say this technique gives you the solution always, let's say, and after that would you say I solve 5 questions with this technique, or I have solved 5 questions with this technique?
I have, but generally people solve.
No, but I'm asking right now, let's say this technique gives me the answer instantly, and using this technique I have solved 5 questions, or using this technique I solve 5 questions. What would you say? You cannot say I solve, right? Gives and solve cannot be called parallel then. Understand, this technique has given me instant answers is also wrong. This technique's usage is general, forever, eternal. But what I have solved right now is now. It's not always. So that's the reason. It doesn't mean that I have to just parallel the tenses without understanding. This is so illogical. This approach doesn't work at all. Remember that thing. Blindness in terms of understanding the meaning will not help us. Question number 3. One thing that you must know, whenever you use these 3 words, and, or, and but, you must maintain very, very strict parallelism from right to left. Whenever you use these 3 words, and, or, and but, you must maintain strict parallelism from right to left. Parallelism is never from left to right. It's always from right to left. Now let's see. How many options are using and, or but as the first word? D and E. Let's go to these 2. Introducing, and here it is, have improved. Do you think they are parallel by any chance? Similarly, introducing in D and E. Not parallel. Introducing will always be wrong here. Now the remaining 3 options use the word while. What does while mean to you? While means an offshoot activity or a main activity apart from this? Okay, offshoot. If I say he slept while I studied. So while is not a completely, while means independent or dependent? Okay, let me ask you this. dependent on that time or not? While it was raining, I was driving. So is it dependent or independent? While is always dependent. The GMAT says very clearly one thing, if there is a dependent part in the second part is dependent on the first, then we use ing form for second. If the second part is dependent on the first part, then we must use ing form for the second part. How many options give me ing form? Have introduced would be wrong here, and have introduced would be wrong here. I'll explain it in 2-3 more ways. It's not so easy to get what I'm saying right now because you've not gone through SC, and I'm telling you the highest level of SC in the very first session. So this is one more thing. Think about it this way. When I do industrialization, when I encourage industrialization and modern methods, my intentions are only positive or negative? I want to introduce a modern method. Positive intention. So whatever positive result is coming, so they have improved. This is anyway a positive result. But at the same time they have introduced dangerous pollutants. This is my intention or no intention? There is no intention. It's an offshoot or is it an independent thing? If I say I take a medicine, my intention is to get cured, but I have a side effect. So that is not my intention. Nobody's intention, not even medicine manufacturer's intention. It's a side. Same thing. You have improved something, this was your intention, positive. But it has also resulted in something that is negative, not an intention. So the GMAT says, if something is intended and something is unintended, both can never be put in parallel forms. Now, if you say have improved is parallel to have introduced, it's not possible. Because one is intended result, one is unintended result. And that's why the best answer would be B. Difficult questions and difficult approach that I am telling you right now. We'll go through this in extreme detail, you will get an idea. But remember, by reading subject-verb agreement, by parallelism, modifier, comparison, idiom, all that, you cannot solve questions at this level. Let's see. Question number 4. What do you mean by the Oneida? According to you, what is the meaning of the Oneida? Oneida is a tribe, but what is the Oneida? Suppose I remove this and say the French here. Not let's not write the Oneida. Let's write the French. Okay. So would you say the French was or the French were? If I say the French were defeated in the Battle of Waterloo or the French was defeated? Were. The French means all French people. It's not one person. Same way the Oneida is all people for the Oneida tribe. I cannot use was. The English are hardworking or the English is hardworking? What would you say? You can't say the English is hardworking. The English means all English people. So let's see now. A and B are not possible. We will keep C because there is nothing wrong with it, and we'll come back to this. Were the only ones out of the 5 nations of the Iraqi League in siding? This is wrong idiom. If I say, let's say a different sentence, he was the only one to win the match, or he was the only one in winning the match, what would you say? He was the only one to win the match or in winning the match? To win the match, right? He was the only one to win the match. So insiding, what should it be in place of insiding? They were the only ones to side or insiding? It should not be insiding, it should be to side. So wrong idiom. And option E says had sided. Had sided is totally wrong because you use this only when there are 2 actions in the past. If this is now, this action happened earlier and there is another action that happened later, both in the past, then I use had here plus the third form. Otherwise I don't use. Had sided cannot be used for a single past event. How many past events are happening in this? Please tell me. How many past events? 1. Only 1 event. So I'll go with the eliminated answer choice, which is perfectly correct. Do not think about wordiness before grammar. C is a very wordy answer. You say, oh, so long, let's remove it. That does not work at all. Question number 5. Right now this question may not look very long to you, but when this question comes on your GMAT screen, it's so big that an entire screen will not be able to accommodate. You will have to scroll down. It's an intimidating problem. Really tough. Now if I start with even though, then I say although, then I say name, then I say sphere points, and I say while, and I have no elimination possible at all. The sentence is fully underlined also. When the beginning of underline, this is from the beginning of underline, right? This does not help me. I should go to the end of underline immediately. In a fully underlined sentence, if the beginning of underline does not help me, let's go to the end of the underline and try to see. And this is a very encouraging word. In 1932 is a time point. Whenever you see a time point, always check the tenses, because tenses and time basically mean the same thing. Time and tense. So let's see, this is one tense. They were first discovered in 1932. If I compare, here it is WHERE, where first discovered. Here it is have been discovered. Here it is what is it? Where, and again have been discovered. Now let's see, first very important. If I say something X, let's say the telephone, invented in this year or was invented in this year, what would you say? In some year, let's say, some year X. Is this compulsory or not compulsory? The telephone invented in this year or telephone was invented in this year? What would you say? How can you say telephone invented in this year? Right? You have to say was or no? Or the telephone invented in this year is the full sentence. The telephone was invented. Right? So first thing. Second, do you think the discovery of something, discovery of anything is a point of time or a period of time? You may be trying to discover it for hundreds of years, but finally when it is discovered, it's a point. And after once it is discovered, the next day also if it is found, will you call it discovery or no? So discovery is that moment, only one moment. So should you say have been discovered or were discovered? I have to say was discovered. I can't say only discovered, was or were, whatever it is. And I cannot say have been discovered because it is point. Do you get my point clearly? Have been discovered means since that time in 1932 till today we are making the discovery. Such an illogical meaning. And you just cannot say only discovered. Something was discovered or were discovered. How many options give you were discovered? W-E-R-E discovered. Only answer A. Yes. Discovery is singular. Yeah. Only one answer. Full stop. Done. This is all. This question is also given in the official guide 12th edition. If you look at the explanation, you will not understand what is written because this is not the way it has been explained at all. Completely differently explained. Let's see two more questions very quickly and then I'll just give you the details of the course and everything. This entire situation given to you in question number 6, is it one moment or a period of time according to you? Please check and tell me. There is a person who is dying, who is about to die, almost having his last breath, and he sees somebody with a bouquet of flowers. Because the person is carrying flowers, he just screams the word flowers and immediately he is dead. How much duration is this? 1 second? This entire question is describing only one moment. Now let's see. In option A the word they is illogical. In option E the word they is illogical because there is nothing to go back to. Whenever you use the word they, there should be something to go back to. There is nothing, so we eliminate. If you use the word had been picked up, does it mean one moment or does it mean time period? Had been picked up. Had been and just means one moment. And had been means over a period of time. Illogical meaning not possible. Option C is okay. D says during. It's a period or a moment, we have already decided. During always means a period, where the question is about a moment. During means a period always. The question is only about a moment, and option C is perfectly fine. Question number 7, let's see. If you use the word it's always singular. So I cannot use Beatles and Beatles. A and B are definitely eliminated. Now, if you go for something called blind parallelism, now this is where people go so wrong, because they have been told parallelism, but they have not been told parallelism of what kind. So let's see. Feeds and pulls. This looks perfectly parallel. Feeds and pulling does not look parallel. And feeds and it pulls definitely not parallel. If you go only by the logic of blind parallelism, you will say C is my answer. This is not the way the GMAT works, although. Parallelism is applied in a very, very cautious way. Tell me, this part of pulling with its mouth parts to strip the bone, is this second part of the feeding, or it's independent of the feeding? Look at what I'm asking once again. This pulling with its mouth parts is part of the feeding process, or it's independent of the feeding process? Okay, so the rule says if the second part is part of the first, then we use ing form for second part. We do not put them in parallel forms. For example, I'll give you another example, just understand. Okay, suppose I say the bowler bowled well, conceding only 5 runs in 6 overs. Or should I say and conceded? What should I say? Please tell me. The bowler bowled very well, conceding only 5 runs in 6 overs. Or should I say and conceded? If I say and conceded, it will mean bowling and conceding runs are independent and different. This conceding runs is happening along with bowling. Is it part of the bowling or is it independent? So ing form is the right answer.